The harder you chase her, the more she seems to slip away. Why does this happen? It's not because she's out of your league or uninterested. It's because you're making a subtle but powerful mistake that kills attraction instantly. Stick around, because I'm about to break down exactly why this happens and how you can flip the script to make her notice you in a way she never has before. Before we dive in, a quick shout-out to my amazing members, Robert, Ria, and Gary Tabber. Thank you for your support. All right, let's get back into it. Section 1. The Science of Over-Attention. Let's start with the basics. Human psychology is wired to crave what feels scarce and valuable. When you show excessive interest in a woman too soon, you inadvertently signal to her that your attention is easy to get, and therefore less valuable. Think about it. If something is given away freely, it's not perceived as worth earning. This concept applies to relationships too. To understand this better, let's dive into the psychological principle of scarcity. Studies in behavioral psychology show that humans are hardwired to assign greater value to things that are rare or difficult to obtain. Imagine you're shopping and you come across two similar products. One has a sign that says limited edition, while the other is part of a permanent collection. Which one grabs your attention more? Likely the limited edition. This same logic applies to how we value people. If your attention is given without her earning it, it feels like the second product, always available and less exciting. By over-investing through constant compliments, texts, or calls, you rob her of the opportunity to wonder about you. This wondering phase, where she questions if you're into her or if she's done enough to get your attention, is where attraction is built. Mystery is a key driver of interest, and when you remove it by being overly available, you extinguish that spark. Think about how attraction works in other areas of life. Consider a movie trailer that reveals everything about the plot. Do you feel excited to watch it, or does it lose its appeal because you already know what's going to happen? The same applies to relationships. If a woman feels she already knows everything about you and your interest level, her excitement diminishes. Instead of overloading her with attention, focus on creating a balance. Give her space to miss you, to think about you, and to question where she stands with you. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It's about valuing your own time and energy. By making your attention something she must earn, you signal that you respect yourself and your value. That alone makes you more attractive. Section 2. The Power of Stoic Detachment. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from mastering your emotions and maintaining a sense of calm detachment from outcomes. This philosophy is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about maintaining your inner stability regardless of external circumstances. When it comes to relationships, Stoicism can be your secret weapon. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and emotional self-control. This doesn't mean being emotionless, but rather demonstrating that your happiness and self-worth are not entirely dependent on her actions or approval. When you show too much interest, you risk coming across as overly dependent on her validation. This can feel suffocating and overwhelming, causing her to pull away. Consider this. Have you ever been chased by a stray dog? The more it runs after you, the more you want to get away from it. The same dynamic applies when you're chasing a woman. The harder you chase, the more she feels the need to escape. Stoicism flips this dynamic by practicing detachment. You shift the focus back to yourself, making you the center of your own world. This creates a magnetic pull rather than a push. Stoic detachment also allows you to embrace an abundance mindset. Instead of fixating on one woman and fearing rejection, you develop the belief that your value isn't tied to any single person's opinion of you. When you adopt this perspective, your interactions become more natural and relaxed. Women can sense when a man is truly comfortable in his own skin, and it's incredibly attractive. To implement this, start by reframing rejection. Instead of seeing it as a personal failure, view it as a natural part of life. Not every woman will be the right fit for you, and that's okay. By letting go of the need for her approval, you become the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but keeps them intrigued and interested. Section 3. Attraction through purpose and passion. One of the most overlooked aspects of attraction is how a man's purpose shapes his appeal. Women are naturally drawn to men who are focused, driven, and passionate about their goals. When you make a woman the sole focus of your attention, Section 4. Mastering the balance of interest and mystery. While it's important to show interest, the key is to do so in a way that leaves room for mystery. This is where many men go wrong. They either smother a woman with attention or play hard to get to the point of seeming disinterested. Neither extreme is effective. The sweet spot lies in showing enough interest to let her know you're attracted to her, while maintaining enough distance to keep her intrigued. Think of it like planting a seed. If you overwater it, it drowns. If you neglect it entirely, it withers. The same principle applies to relationships. Small, meaningful gestures, like a well-timed compliment or a thoughtful text, go much further than an endless stream of attention. It's about quality, not quantity. Additionally, understand the power of silence. Sometimes saying less speaks volumes. For instance, when she asks about your day, resist the urge to overshare every detail. Keep your responses concise and leave her wanting to know more. This subtle air of mystery keeps the dynamic exciting and prevents her from feeling like she has you completely figured out. Finally, remember that actions speak louder than words. Instead of constantly telling her how much you like her, show it through your behavior. This could mean being dependable, keeping your promises, and respecting her boundaries. When your actions align with your words, it builds trust and solidifies your value in her eyes. Section 5. Closing thoughts and actionable takeaways. So, what's the takeaway here? Women ignore men who show too much interest because it disrupts the natural balance of attraction. By practicing stoicism, embracing purpose, and mastering the balance between interest and mystery, you can shift the dynamic in your favor. Remember, the key to attraction isn't about playing games, it's about showing up as the best version of yourself. Value your time and attention, focus on your goals, and let her see that being with you is a privilege, not a given. Here's your challenge. Take one step today to redirect your focus inward. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, setting a personal goal, or simply practicing silence in your interactions, start creating the kind of life that naturally attracts others. Once you master this mindset, you won't just attract women, you'll inspire them to stay. Section 6. Why excessive interest feels inauthentic to women. When you show a woman too much interest too quickly, it can feel insincere to her. Think about it. How can someone truly know they're in love or deeply interested in another person without spending enough time to genuinely connect? By overloading her with compliments or constantly seeking her attention, it might seem like you're more focused on winning her rather than truly understanding and appreciating who she is. This creates a sense of pressure instead of allowing her to feel relaxed and naturally drawn to you. Your actions may come across as performative, as if you're trying to check off boxes to win her approval. Women are intuitive. They can sense when something feels forced or overly calculated. The antidote is authenticity. Stop trying to prove your worth through grand gestures or excessive attention. Instead, take a step back and allow her to experience the real you at her own pace. Authentic attraction isn't about convincing someone of your value. It's about letting your value speak for itself. When you focus on being genuine, your actions naturally align with your intentions, and this builds trust and mutual respect. Section 7. The role of emotional independence in attraction. Emotional independence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. Women are naturally drawn to men who are self-sufficient and emotionally secure. If you're constantly seeking validation or reassurance from her, it signals that you're not confident in your own value. Imagine this scenario. You text her multiple times a day, not because you have something meaningful to say, but because you need her response to feel secure. This creates a dynamic where you're dependent on her for your emotional stability, which can be overwhelming for her. Women want to feel wanted, not needed. To cultivate emotional independence, focus on building a life that fulfills you outside of your romantic relationships. Pursue hobbies, set goals, and maintain a strong support system of friends and family. When your happiness isn't tied solely to her, you create a dynamic where she feels free to engage with you without the burden of meeting all your emotional needs. This independence is magnetic. It shows her that you're a man who can stand on his own, and that makes her want to stand beside you. Section 8. The importance of non-verbal communication. Your words are only part of the equation when it comes to attraction. Non-verbal communication, your body language, tone of voice, and the way you carry yourself, often speaks louder than anything you say. If your actions scream, "I'm desperate for your attention," she'll pick up on that, even if you're saying all the right things. For example, leaning in too much when you talk to her, maintaining overly intense eye contact, or constantly seeking her physical proximity can come across as needy. Instead, practice relaxed confidence. Maintain good posture, take up space naturally, and use deliberate movements that convey calmness and self-assuredness. One of the most powerful nonverbal signals you can send is the ability to be comfortable in silence. Many men feel the need to fill every gap in conversation, but silence can actually create a sense of mystery and confidence. It shows that you're not afraid of losing her attention and that you're secure in your presence. Mastering nonverbal communication doesn't happen overnight, but it's a skill worth developing. Pay attention to how you present yourself and the signals you're sending without even realizing it. Over time, these subtle adjustments can have a huge impact on how women perceive you. Section 9. Why she values what she earns. There's a psychological principle called the IKEA effect, which suggests that people place higher value on things they've put effort into creating. This applies to relationships as well. When a woman feels like she's had to earn your attention or affection, she values it far more than if it's handed to her without any effort. By constantly showering her with attention, you're removing her opportunity to invest in the relationship. Instead of feeling like a partner who has contributed to the connection, she may feel like a passive recipient, which can lead to boredom or even resentment. To create a dynamic where she values your attention, allow her to contribute. Let her make the effort to reach out, plan dates, or show her interest in you. This doesn't mean withholding affection or playing hard to get. It's about creating a balanced relationship where both parties invest equally. When she feels like she's earned your attention, it becomes a prize worth cherishing, not something she takes for granted. Closing. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more valuable insights. See you in the next one.